All right, what's up, guys? So I've decided to do a quick live stream here. I want to show you some results of my, the back testing I've been doing for the last couple of days. Let's see if we find something interesting here. So let's share my screen. All right. So this is going to be doing a quick, it's a quick market update here to start with. Some market updates, some live trading. See if we can find something interesting. By the way, guys, the backtesting template that I'm going to show you today, what I've been working on, is going to be available in the newsletter, right? So sign up to the newsletter, check that out. You can find the link in the description below. Now you can also go to my Twitter profile, which should be linked in the excuse me, in the profile. And this is a template, right? So let's first do a market update here on what's going on right now. So I've been going through the news, trying to get a sense of the the sentiment of things, what's going on. And we started off with a nice bounce here in equities this morning. So we had the S&P 500 bouncing nicely off that support right here. And that also had a follow through on Bitcoin, right? But we're now seeing a some slight weakness on the S&P 500 right here. But, it's just starting, right? So we will know how this will develop. But the general idea that I'm currently looking at is this, right? Let me show you. So you have a bounce right here inside the support area for the S&P 500. And if you've been following me for the last couple of weeks, we've been looking at this. And also last week we had that webinar with Dirk last Wednesday where we talked about the where I talked about this idea right here, where it's actually playing out quite nicely, right? So let me go to the trading tab here on PrimeXBT quickly. So you can see right here I have an open position on GBP NCD, so short here on GBP NCD. Let's first look at that one. It's this one right here, and I actually did enter the orders for this one on that breakdown right here, and I'm quite. I do like this one. I did manage to reduce the risk on this one by moving stop loss down, and obviously I'm just waiting for TP1 to get hit right here before moving stops further down. In terms of news event, we have the ECB coming out, like they have a let's see, let's look at the news right here. So we have not Bloomberg, we got the economic calendar right here. So we have the ECB monetary policy meeting accounts. I don't really know what. In 2 hours. In 2 hours, we have that coming up. So I did have a nice short setup forming here on Euro NCD, but because of the fact that we have that major news event for the Euro, which is the ECB meeting, I've chosen not to enter this trade. I just want to stay on the safe side of things, right? So when you're scanning the markets and you're seeing some good setups, always remember, guys, you have to. I mean, you have to always remember to check the news events, to go to that economic calendar and make sure that there's no major news event coming up around the time that you want to enter. So in my, because I'm swing trading, I don't want to enter a new position if there's a major news event coming up in the next few hours or something like that, right? So it's very important that you keep track of the news. So looking at the S&P 500 right here, like I said last Wednesday, we talked with Dirk and we said, they got the rejection at the 200 simple moving average right here, comes up with that high time frame trend, long-term trend line, and the short RLZ of the latest down move measured from that high to this low. That rejection became quite evident when we had this daily candle right here with stochastic RSI bear cross on the daily. And we then said, we have the long RLZ of the latest up move, like the medium term breakout move right here. We came down, we bounced like around the reload zone. I don't like, it's not really that valid, at this point, but I do like the fact that we had that bullish engulfing candle on the daily. We have now a stochastic RSI bull cross. If the daily candle closes around this area, and what I'm thinking here is we might see a move up for the S&P 500. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but a probable move for the S&P 500, if it does continue to move up, I would like to see, well, not like to see, but I think there's a high probability that this level right here, the 0.618 level, will act as resistance. And if you're looking at the lower time frames right here, we are seeing a bounce right here, and that high time frame 0.68 level comes in confluent with the short RLZ of this down move right here. So it looks quite, in my opinion, it looks quite like a pretty obvious resistance area if we do continue this move to the upside. And the same thing is going on for Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin did hit a nice support area right here. It has now reclaimed the weekly open with a stochastic RSI bull cross, and it looks like it potentially wants to move higher. And I would like to say that it kind of depends on the stock market right now, the S&P 500 index. So if the S&P 500 continues to move higher, I do think that there's some quite high probability of Bitcoin hitting that 23 area, 23K, 23,000 area right here, which would also agree with the daily moving averages here. But I'm not going to be trading this because in my system won't really allow me to trade this as a long because we're below the moving averages. We need to be above the moving averages to go long. But I'm just giving you guys some ideas here. So watch the S&P 500. If the S&P 500 managed to, perhaps do a low time frame break and retest of this area, you can go to the 15 minutes and you might see what I mean. You have a resistance area right here. And if there's like a break, the break has happened, the retest is coming. It's a rounded retest. And if there's a confirmed bounce here, we might start that up move towards the 0.618, the short RLZ of this move. So that's what, and this is where I think it's highly likely that we see a rejection, right? However, if we don't see a rejection here, if there's no bearish rejection in this area for the S&P 500, we might actually break out further. And that might be the start of a major bull market, right? Because if you look at this chart right here, it would actually mean that breaking these highs to the upside, we would have a bullish break in market structure, and we would actually kind of create a possible higher high with a higher low. I don't think that's going to happen, but if it does happen, it's probably going to be very bullish, and Bitcoin is probably going to move quite high. By the way, guys, if you like what I'm doing, if you want to support me, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and if you want to trade on the same exchange where I'm trading, which is PrimeXBT, where I'm trading crypto pairs and Forex pairs on the same platform, you can sign up using the link in the description below. And there's also a code where you get a 7K deposit bonus, up to a 7K deposit bonus, and a code to get 25% off on your fees. Do you think the Chinese markets are going to tank everything else soon? So you're asking some fundamental questions to a technical analyst. I think this could be rather embarrassing in terms of me not knowing what to answer on this question. But so I'm seeing something interesting, and here's my very, very not expert fundamental analysis, but I'm seeing something interesting. So you have the US dollar is performing quite well, and I've been doing some research and reading some articles about how the Chinese market is kind of dragging down a lot of other markets except the US market, because it seems that the US market is not as dependent on China as many other markets, right? So the weakness in the Chinese market is definitely dragging down a lot of other markets, but the USD is still performing quite well. So what I'm seeing here is two things, right? The weakness in China affects the dollar positively because the dollar is not as reliant on China as other markets, and the gas crisis and the energy crisis in Europe is not affecting the US as much as it is, for example, in in UK or Germany, or basically the whole of Europe, where there's like a crisis right now. Like it's a pretty serious crisis right now with the energy in Europe, while it's not that serious in America, because obviously Europe, Germany especially, is very reliant on Russian gas, which is pretty fucking stupid if you ask me. Sorry, I'm not going to be swearing, but you guys all know about that clip with, I think it's Donald Trump being in the UN, or I think it's in the UN, speaking about how it's really a bad idea for Germany to be so reliant on on Russian gas, and the German delegation is just laughing at him, right? Well, here we are, years later, here we are, and we are seeing the problem with not being independent, right? So I do believe that if every country would be trying to solve the energy crisis many years ago by trying to become more independent, obviously would not have the problems that we're having today. Being reliant on Russian gas is probably not a good thing, and shutting down nuclear plants was obviously a terrible idea, a terrible idea. Anyway, so yes, I do believe that, to answer your question, I do believe that the Chinese markets are weighing the rest of the markets down, right? While it also explains the strength from the US dollar. So we can look at the US dollar, and there's some serious strength from the US dollar. And you look at there's particularly two currencies that are very weak at this point, and that is the euro and GBP. So and like I said, I haven't done a lot of analysis of my own. This is just from what I hear from reading the news, watching the news, and watching other fundamental analysis, and most of them agree that the euro should be lower than it is. So if you look at Euro USD, which funnily enough, Euro USD went below parity, went below $1, right? And that haven't happened since since 2002, which is pretty insane, right? And a lot of people say that it's going lower. It's going lower because the euro is very weak, right? And so there's a lot of stuff going on, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. We are on the brink of a recession, if not in a recession already, not officially, because, all you have to do apparently is to change the definition of what a recession is, and then magically you're not in a recession. However, normal people, not politicians making insane amount of money, they are suffering even if you change the definition of a recession or not. And the effects of what we're seeing right now, like for example, for me, the price of my energy bill, like I have this deal with the utility company that says that I'm going to have a fixed rate during the winter and a dynamic range of the price during summer, and it has actually gone up, I believe, 3 times since last winter. So I'm thankful for that, because without that deal, it might have been much worse. And I know a lot of people don't have the privilege to have that sort of deal, right? So this winter might be pretty crazy for a lot of people. And I live in Sweden, which is a pretty decent country when it comes to economics and stuff like that. So, but there's a lot of countries around Europe which will basically, I'm pretty sure they're going to face some real troubles this winter, and it's really going to affect the overall markets. I do really believe that the European markets are heavily going to be affected by the energy crisis that is happening right now, and it's most likely going to become much worse, right? Yeah, I do actually have a I don't know what's called I have a chimney, and that chimney is connected to a fireplace. Yes, a fireplace. I have a fireplace. So it might be it might actually be smarter for me to I don't know, like chop down the tree. I have a lot of trees in my backyard, so I might just be cheaper to get it that way, you know, to get the heat that way. It's just, you know. So my energy bill, like last year, some months were like 4,000 USD, and this winter it's projected that some months it's probably going to be higher than $1,000 for a month, which is, you know, I'm not a wealthy guy, you know, I'm not making millions, all right. I'm just a normal guy. I'm just a normal guy that's making a normal amount of money. But I've chosen to, chosen to do this full time, and I'm very thankful that I'm making a normal amount of money doing this stuff full time. But I'm not rich. I'm not wealthy. All right. So paying $1,000 a month for electricity is a shit ton of money. It's a shit ton of money for me, right? Especially when you're like, it's more than double last year. It's absolutely insane, right? And again, in the northern part of Sweden, so I live in like the mid part of Sweden, and I believe that in the southern part of Sweden, it's even more expensive, right? Even more. So a $1,000 bill here might be like $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 a month. I mean, how are normal families going to I'm thankful to have saved money from the bull market to be able to survive there in the bear market and when shit like this happens, right? But how are normal people going to survive that? I mean, imagine if you have like, because in Sweden we can have like, you know, six months of cold, right? So you could have like three months with like severe cold, you know, when it gets like, you know, maybe, you know, minus 25, 30 degrees Celsius. And it's going to take a lot of energy to heat the houses during that time. So it's bad. Like, it's really bad. It's a lot of people are going to be suffering, like families with not a lot of, like a lot of people, you know, money saved up. There's going to be a lot of suffering, right? And this is going to affect the whole market. Right? It's going to affect the whole market. It's going to be definitely a risk of environment, because when people can't fucking afford electricity, they're not going to invest in Bitcoin, you know? Right. Yeah, I mean, this is crazy, and like I remember, like we read in the beginning of the Russian-Ukraine war, even in the beginning when oil and gas prices went up. Remember, that's in the beginning. Like, it's way more expensive now. And I remember reading about Italian glass makers having to shut down their companies. And this was like companies that's been around for hundreds of years, right? Maybe not hundreds, but 100, 200 years, right? And they're shutting down because they're not making money anymore. The energy that was provided to heat up the, you know, heating for blowing the glass was costing more than actually selling the glass, so I had to shut it down. And this is the same for a lot of people or a lot of businesses that are dependent on electricity to actually run their business. All right. So yeah, we do have possibly a very dark future ahead, and I really do not hope that it gets worse. And in Sweden, they're already talking about shutting down parts of the country to actually be able to survive. And imagine that this is Sweden, right? Imagine if you're talking about a country that is, not as developed, maybe Romania or something. Like, it's going to be, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a lot of problem. So yeah, and on top of that, fucking inflation, possible recession. I mean, you're getting less for your money. You're getting less for your money, and you have to pay like 4 or 5 times more for your electricity bill. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. So what we have to do, and like, it's the same in Sweden. We've been shutting down nuclear. Germany been shutting down nuclear. I've seen a article today coming out from Germany where they said basically, we're not sure if we're going to bring back nuclear. Like, what the hell? It's the cleanest, it's the cleanest type of energy, and like, it's most efficient, right? Instead, they're building like solar farms and wind farms where they have to like cut down millions of trees, and the creation of the solar and wind farms are taking up more energy than they're actually bringing in. And they're doing all of this because they just want to look nice. They like they just want to have good headlines and see like, look at this, I'm saving the environment, but really you're not. You're just fucking everything up for normal people. It's such a retarded game, this game that they're playing with us. Anyway. Oh, god damn it. Right, so your NCD is dropping. I wish I entered this trade. That's a set I didn't want to do. All right, so you know what? Let's switch over to backtesting, because I know a lot of you are in here because you want to talk about, you want me to show you results, but yeah, man. There's a lot of politics in Sweden, because we have got to be voting for a new government this year, every fourth year, right? So this is the year, and of course with the energy crisis, the big question is like, what are we gonna do right now to save the energy crisis? And I really do hope that what's going on right now kind of makes people think about why we might have to focus on being more independent, right? Well, like it's insane. I really do not understand how like it's crazy. But it's not going to happen. I mean, people are just going to be voting for the people that is giving them, an extra $100 a month, or is short-term gains. It's not. Most people have very hard. It's very hard for most people to look at the long-term things, right? And it's the same in trading. I mean, it's the same in trade. It's the same in everything, right? So I want to talk about this backtesting right here. Let me show you this, right? So I have in my Google Drive, I have I have folders here, one folder for every backtesting session, and then I'm using a specific backtesting session, which is this one right here. Always keep by the way, yes, this backtesting template is going to be available in this Friday's newsletter, so definitely check that out. It's going to be, it's Thursday, so tomorrow. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I would be it would definitely be a dictatorship, and like a most likely dictatorship, we would not be like no school. Everyone's going to be homeschooled, and everyone, like, no one's going to get a birth certificate. They're going to get a backtesting template, right? So you're going to be like, from every day, every mistake you make, you write it in here, and you're like, what? You get it, like, so you're going to backtest everything, right? So children is going to be like walking backtesting machines, right? And with one purpose, to become consistently profitable in life. I think that's a good way of putting it. We're gonna have a lot of camps, a lot of trading camps all over the place. Mandatory trading camps for everyone above the age of 4 months, probably. And anyway, so I have this backtesting template right here. So it's original one. Always keep the original one. If you fuck everything up, you have the original one. And then I have one tab for results. And what I do is I go through all the markets. So this backtested template here, for example, this session is for the, you can see right here, it says only perfects. And basically what I mean here is I will only take perfect setups. So I can show you another one, which is this one right here, where I have tested an idea where I wanted to see what would happen if, so what would happen if I look at the results of entering on the 4/20 versus entering on the 4/50 and an early entry. And basically what an early entry is when price seems to be lower than it should be for a good setup. Maybe it's in the reload zone, but it's below the 4-hour moving average. So I feel like, that's early, but sometimes you need to get better at executing your trade and just pulling the trigger, right? Just pulling the trigger. So that this is like me pulling the trigger, and I would like to see if that's a good idea. So I've been going through this, all of these pairs right here. I've added all the results here into the results tab, right? And you'll see here that total trades is 99, and the win rate of all of these is 54, and the cumulative R is 48, and this is from the 1st January this year. So you can look right here, and you can look at the confluence analysis right here, and you will see that for all the trades that hit the 4 hour 20, it's a 64% win rate, and for the 4 hour 50 EMA, it's a 65% win rate, and for the early entry, it's a 48.2% win rate. Cumulative R is 24 versus 36 versus 30. So you could definitely rule out this right here. Yes, it's profitable, but without this one right here, you would have 56 less trades and probably be not as much more profitable. So that early entry, not interesting. So over the course of 99 trades, I'm now realized that no, I'm not going to be trying to become better at pulling the trigger and executing earlier to get that high risk to reward, because it simply does not really work. So now I'm doing the second part of the backtesting, which I've started just now. And what I'm doing in that one is I've added the 4 hour 20 EMA and the 4 hour 50 EMA and the T1 indicator and the reload zone. And basically, it's just me tracking the results of entering trades on the 20 EMA, the 50 EMA, and then the T1 tracker is actually this one right here, which is in my Discord server. Yes, I do have a Discord server, and no, you cannot join. I'm kidding. You can, but not yet, because it's not public. But it's going to perhaps be public sometime in the future if I choose to open it up to the public. But here I have a RLZ slingshot alerts bot. And basically what it does is when there's a alert on the indicator, it sends out a chart in the in Discord. So here you can see right here you have one on EuroCAD. Let's go to EuroCAD. Let's see what that looks like. EuroCAD is... yeah, this one right here. So that's the short signal, as you can see right there. And it works quite well. It actually works very well. You can look at the GBP NCD trade. Well, I thought it had one, but it didn't. Never mind. So yeah, it works pretty well, actually. Let's go back to the back testing right here. So what I've started doing right now is I've started looking at the confluence between those, because I now know that early entry is not good. So let's try everything again. So the watch list that I'm testing is this one right here. It's called Backtesting Session 2020. It's 40 pairs, which is quite a lot, including Bitcoin and Ethereum indices, commodities. It takes a long time. It takes about probably 3 full days of work, many hours to go through all of this. And I think at the end results, I should have about somewhere like around 250 trades, and that would really give me a really good statistics on the system. And one reason, there's several reasons why I'm doing this backtesting session now. First of all, last time I did this extensive backtesting was last year, where I got around a 65% win rate, and I want to test it once again to make sure that, like, has the system performed as good this year as last year? Because I do think that it hasn't. With the changing market conditions, I think it's performing a little bit worse this year. But I want to confirm that, because I'm not actually sure that it is. I just got a short signal on the DAX. I just need to check that one out. So just give me a second. See right here, T1 4 hour short on German 40. So let's go and look at the German 40. How's that looking? Not a trade. And why is that not a trade? Well, it's not a trade because it did not hit the right fibs and everything. But it's a pretty good candle, and I do think that it's shortable. But I'm not gonna do that. So one of the and you can also see that signal came up in the Discord server. For some reason, it can't bring up the chart for German 40, the DAX. I don't know why. So one of the reasons is to see how the profitability of the system is changing over years. And if it's like gets much worse, I have to check some new things to see if I can modify the system in some way. And that was also one of the reasons why I looked at the early entry, right? I got my oven on and it smells smoky. So I should probably check that out. But first, let's look at this. All right, so another reason why I'm doing the backtesting is to show you guys, like, look at this. This is the RLZ slingshot system, and this is the results that you're getting in backtesting. To really, give you. It's good, man. It's good, man. I have enough money to buy new highs. I'm kidding. I don't have enough money to buy new highs. Yeah, I should probably check that out. I'm back in just a second. Yeah, that will be man, I read that comment and I'm like, you know what? Should probably just not come back. You'll see a live stream and then I'll add some sounds on like something burning and people screaming, and it's like but probably you're gonna be like calling the cops or something, which probably would be good. That would be fun though. To imagine, I would have my son coming in and screaming like, "Oh, help!" Everyone's gonna be like, "Holy shit, he's dying." That's not fun though. It's not fun. It's terrible. Yeah. Then that lunch is fucked up though. It's pretty early for dinner, but my lunch is definitely gone. Yeah, my son running in like, "Please, guys, nah, man. All right, let's stop." I've taught him to, like, he knows a little bit of English. I've taught him to say buy Bitcoin. So maybe he would just be running in screaming buy Bitcoin, which would be hilarious as well. My dad's dead, buy Bitcoin. All right. So another reason, of course, I want to show you guys how the system is performing and what the results in backtesting is, because I'm going to launch this trading program, right? Where it's a 2-month long program where if you join, you're basically, it's going to be like two live webinars a week with a bunch of more videos and content and your resources, basically to help you not only learn the exact details of the system and how to trade it, but also how to modify it with adding indicators of your choosing, and basically after that 2 months, my plan is to enable people to basically trade hopefully profitable, not after 2 months, because it could be realistic, it might be taking like 4-6 months, whatever. But this is a way of showing, like, because it's all about managing your expectations in trading. So the first backtesting session on your CAD is from the beginning of this year, and there's only 9 trades, right? So if you do the math on that, you'll see that 9 divided by, well, let's say 8. So 9 divided by 8 divided by 4 is only 0.2. So it's like on average 0.2 trades a week and 1 trade a month. So on average, it's going to be 1 trade a month this year on AUD CAD. And some of these trades are taken, at night. You can see at night, my time. And you can also see right here the trades taken at 1 has a low win rate. The ones taken closer to markets closing, like daily candle close around that time, has a 100% win rate. But it's good for you guys to have a realistic expectation. So having only 1 trade a month might not be like it's nothing, right? But then you have 40 pairs. You have 40 pairs. You can, if every pair is showing a similar similar results, you can do 9 times 40, right? And that's going to bring you to 360 trades in 9 months, right? So you can do 360 divided by 9 divided by 4, and all of a sudden you have 10 trades a week, which is quite a lot, right? All right, so somebody's calling me. Gonna take this. It's my fiance, and if I don't take it, yeah, you know, just give me a second. All right, listen to this. This is fucking hilarious. So my fiance called me and she's like, "I'm gonna be home in like an hour. Can you can you, because we have food from yesterday?" And she's like, "Can you heat the food?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course. It's in the oven. I'm not gonna tell her that it's in the oven and it's pretty much smoking. So I gotta be ending the live stream a little bit earlier. I might have to get some food somewhere else. This is the shit I had to deal with when working from home. Like all of a sudden, just I gotta do everything, and like I'm not good at it, man. I'm not good at it. Yeah, I should probably get some takeaway. I need to find a place that, like, I need to find a place that makes a nice meatloaf takeaway, because that's what we're supposed to have. So it needs to be meatloaf, so I don't have to tell her that I burnt everything. So I need to, yeah, man. It's like, I'm not gonna tell her, man. You obviously, like, you're not in a relationship. You don't know, probably. Maybe you're. I don't know, man. Michelle. Maybe, is that a female name? Because if it is, you're probably right. If you're a man, you're probably wrong. All right, so yeah, okay, so that got weird quick. Anyway, so the backtesting template right here. I'm gonna send this out tomorrow in the newsletter, so you guys can check it out. And yeah, I'm gonna give it a call. I'm gonna send it out in the newsletter, and you'll gain access to this. And then you know, in the later stage, I'll make a video kind of explaining how you're supposed to be using it. I'm gonna do a YouTube video, you know, doing down. You're breaking. Yeah, I know you're right. I know I should call her and say, like, I fucked up. The food is burnt, and you better bring something when you're coming home. I think that's the best way of doing it. However, I'm not going to do that. I refuse, because I'm a bit autistic like that. I have my idea. I got my plan. You never deviate from the plan, you know? You got your trading plan, and then you have a life plan. You don't deviate from that plan. You might change it after making mistakes, which I'm going to do today, but never deviate. Yeah. But it's not about losing points. It's more about, you know, the probability of things. Yeah. Exactly. You gotta have some action in your life. Otherwise, you're, you know, what are you even doing? You're just watching your screen all day, backtesting shit, and just making dinner, you know? You gotta be like, surprise, we don't have any food today. All right, guys. Fuck it. I'm not even talking about trading anymore. So, just a quick update on Bitcoin before we go. So where do we think Bitcoin is heading in the next? I do think that we got some. Yeah, this is some good advice as well. You don't know what this means, but it's like really good advice. I wish you knew what this. I'm not going to tell you. I can tell you what it says. It's really good. All right, guys, I'm just gonna end the live stream. I got some shit I need to take care of. Obviously, I need to clean out the oven. I need to get some more food. All right, it was fun knowing you guys. If there's not gonna be a live stream tomorrow, you know I'm either killed or burnt alive. All right, guys, take care. See you guys in the next. Hopefully, I'll see you guys in the next live stream. Thanks for joining, and don't make food, man. Like, don't cook food. Actually, like, I'm really good at cooking food. Like, I love it. I'm really good. Like, I'm really good at it. And I'm gonna show you someday. I'm gonna make like a cooking channel on YouTube. You'll see I'm really, really good at it. However, I can't be making food in the oven and having a live stream at the same time. That's just like gotta do one thing at a time. All right, guys, take care. You are awesome. All right, take care.